You don't need more time. You need to execute while the world is still asleep. Warren Buffett protects his mornings like a fortress. No meetings before noon. No interruptions before 8 a.m. No decisions until the one decision that matters is made. Because he understands something most people never learn. Your best thinking happens in the first 90 minutes after you wake up. And if you give those minutes away to email, to meetings, to other people's priorities, you have already lost the day before it started. Here is what happens to most people. They wake up. They reach for their phone. They check email. They scan messages. They see what everyone else needs from them. And within 5 minutes, their brain is no longer theirs. It belongs to the demands, to the notifications, to everyone else's agenda. By the time they sit down to do their own work, their cognitive capacity is already depleted. Their willpower is already fragmented. Their focus is already scattered across 20 different priorities that are not theirs. This is not a discipline problem. This is a design problem. You are giving away your highest value time to the lowest value activities. You are spending your peak cognitive hours on reactive tasks that could be done later or not at all. You are optimizing your morning for feeling productive instead of for actually producing results. And this single mistake, this one habit of checking your phone before you create anything meaningful, is costing you more than you realize. Because your brain in the first 90 minutes after waking is in a state it will never be in again for the rest of the day. Your prefrontal cortex is fresh. Your willpower is full. Your decision-making capacity has not been depleted by hundreds of micro-choices. This is when deep work happens. This is when creative thinking emerges. This is when you solve the problems that actually move your life forward. But only if you protect this time. Only if you treat these 90 minutes as sacred. Only if you refuse to let the world steal them from you. Warren Buffett has a rule. He calls it the 5/25 rule. Write down your top 25 goals. Circle the 5 most important. Then eliminate the other 20. Completely. Do not work on them. Do not think about them. Do not let them exist in your consciousness. Because those 20 goals are not just less important. They are dangerous. They create the illusion of progress while preventing actual progress. They scatter your attention. They fragment your energy. They make you feel busy while keeping you from being effective. The same principle applies to your morning. You do not need to do 20 things in your first 90 minutes. You need to do one thing. The one thing that if you accomplished it would make everything else easier or irrelevant. And you need to do it before you do anything else. Before email. Before meetings. Before other people's priorities flood your brain. You protect those 90 minutes for the one priority that actually matters. This is not about time management. This is about energy management. Your cognitive resources are highest in the morning. Your ability to focus is strongest. Your capacity for difficult thinking is at its peak. This is your most valuable resource. And most people waste it on tasks that require no thinking at all. They waste it scrolling. They waste it reacting. They waste it being busy instead of being productive. And by the time they sit down to do work that actually requires cognitive effort, their brain is already tired, already depleted, already operating at half capacity. Here is what the research shows. Decision fatigue is real. Every choice you make depletes your willpower. Every email you answer. Every message you respond to. Every notification you process. Each one costs cognitive resources. And by 10 a.m., most people have already made hundreds of micro-decisions. Their willpower is depleted. Their focus is fragmented. Their ability to do deep work is gone. But it did not have to be this way. They chose to spend their peak hours on reactive tasks. And now they are trying to do creative work with a tired brain. Buffett understands this. He protects his mornings aggressively. No meetings. No calls. No interruptions. He uses those hours for thinking. For reading. For making the few decisions that actually matter. Everything else waits. Everything else gets scheduled for later. Everything else is treated as less important than protecting the time when his brain works best. And this is not because he has more discipline than you. This is because he has better systems. Systems that protect his cognitive capacity. Systems that eliminate decision fatigue before it happens. Systems that make deep work the default instead of the exception. So how do you actually implement this? How do you protect your morning when everything in modern life is designed to steal it? You build a system, not a habit, not a routine. A system, something that operates independently of how you feel. Something that protects your cognitive capacity by default. First, you identify your one priority. Not your top 5. Your one. The single thing that if you made progress on it would genuinely move your life forward. For most people, this is hard, because most people have never asked this question. They have been too busy doing 20 things poorly to focus on doing one thing well. But you have to choose. What is the one project? The one goal? The one outcome that actually matters? Everything else is noise. Everything else is distraction. Everything else waits. Second, you protect the first 90 minutes after you wake up for this one priority. Not the first hour. 90 minutes. Because research shows that deep work sessions shorter than 90 minutes do not generate the same cognitive benefits. Your brain needs time to warm up, time to get into flow, time to access the kind of thinking that only happens when you sustain focus for an extended period. 60 minutes is not enough. 90 minutes is the minimum. Third, you eliminate all inputs during this time. No phone, no email, no messages, no notifications, no music with lyrics, no news. Nothing that requires your brain to process information coming from outside. Because every input is a decision. Every notification is a choice. And every choice depletes the cognitive resources you need for your one priority. Your brain in these 90 minutes is doing one thing and one thing only. Working on what matters. Everything else is turned off. Fourth, you prepare the night before. You do not wake up and then decide what to work on. You decide the night before. You set up your workspace. You eliminate friction. You make starting as easy as opening your laptop and beginning. Because morning willpower is precious. And you do not want to waste it deciding what to do. You want to spend it doing the thing. The decision was made yesterday. Today is for execution. Now let me tell you what makes this difficult. Your brain will resist, especially in the first week. It is addicted to checking, to scrolling, to feeling connected. When you remove all inputs, your brain experiences withdrawal. It generates anxiety, restlessness, the feeling that you are missing something important. This is not intuition. This is addiction. Your nervous system learned that checking provides relief. And now that relief is not available. So it creates discomfort to push you back toward the behavior. You have to sit with this discomfort. You have to prove to your brain that 90 minutes without inputs is survivable. That the world does not collapse because you did not check email at 6 a.m. That nothing urgent actually required your immediate attention. Most of what feels urgent is not. Most of what demands your morning is someone else's priority disguised as yours. And when you stop responding immediately, you discover something interesting. Most of it resolves itself. Most of it was never actually important. Most of it was just noise. Here is what happens when you protect 90 minutes every morning for deep work. You make more progress in those 90 minutes than most people make in an entire day. Not because you work faster, because you work on what matters. Because you bring your full cognitive capacity to the thing that deserves it. Because you are not depleted, not distracted, not fragmented. You are focused. And focused effort on the right thing creates exponential results. But the benefits go beyond just the work you produce. Your brain starts to change. It learns that deep focus is possible. That sustained attention on one thing generates better outcomes than scattered attention on many things. It learns that mornings are for creation, not reaction. That your priorities come before other people's priorities. And this learning transfers. You start protecting other blocks of time. You start eliminating other sources of fragmentation. You start designing your entire day around deep work instead of trying to fit deep work into gaps between distractions. Here is exactly how to implement this starting tomorrow. Tonight, before you sleep, write down your one priority. The single thing you will work on in your first 90 minutes. Be specific. Not work on the project. Which specific part of the project? Not right. Which specific section? The more specific you are tonight, the less friction you have tomorrow. Then prepare your workspace. Remove everything that is not related to your one priority. Close all browser tabs. Quit all applications. Set up exactly what you need and nothing more. Make starting tomorrow as simple as sitting down and beginning. No decisions. No setup time. No friction. You eliminated all of that tonight. Put your phone in another room. Not on airplane mode nearby. In another room. Charge it somewhere you cannot reach it from your workspace. Because if it is nearby, you will check it. Even if you do not mean to. Even if you have discipline. Proximity creates temptation. Distance creates protection. Protect yourself by creating distance. Set a timer for 90 minutes. When you wake up and sit down to work, start the timer. This creates a container. A specific block of time that has a beginning and an end. This makes the commitment manageable. You are not committing to deep work forever. You are committing to 90 minutes. Anyone can do 90 minutes. And when the timer goes off, you are done. You can check your phone. You can check email. You can be reactive, but not until the timer goes off. During those 90 minutes, you do one thing. Work on your priority. When your brain generates the urge to check something, you notice the urge and return to the work. You do not fight the urge. You do not shame yourself for having it. You just notice it and redirect. This is the practice, not eliminating distraction. Choosing focus despite distraction. Again and again until the timer goes off. After 90 minutes, stop. Even if you are in flow. Even if you want to keep going. Stop. Take a break. Move your body. Then you can check your phone. You can respond to what needs responding. You can be reactive, but you have already won. You already did 90 minutes of deep work on what matters. Everything else is bonus. Everything else is maintenance. Everything else is not your highest value time. Repeat this every day, not when you feel motivated. Every day, the first 90 minutes after you wake up belong to your priority. Not to email, not to messages, not to other people, to your one thing. And if you do this, if you protect 90 minutes every morning for what actually matters, you will make more progress in 3 months than most people make in 3 years. Not because you work more, because you work on what matters when your brain works best. If this video helped you see why protecting your mornings matters and how to actually do it, subscribe to this channel. Every video here is designed to help you see the systems controlling your behavior so you can redesign them. And if you are ready to reclaim your mornings starting tomorrow, comment, "I protect my 90 below." Let's build this discipline together. Here is your 60-second move right now. Open your calendar. Block 90 minutes tomorrow morning. Label it deep work. Then write down the one thing you will work on during that block. One specific task, not a category, a task. Then put your phone charger in another room. That is it. 60 seconds. Do it now. 3 months from now, you are standing here again, but different. You are the person who protected 90 minutes every single morning, who built while the world slept, who chose deep work over shallow distraction, who made more progress in 3 months than most people make in 3 years. That version of you exists. You just have to prove it. Starting tomorrow morning. Starting with 90 minutes. Starting now.